Hello friends, Ashton here. So today I'd like to share a new project with you for Google Apps Script, and it's about a topic for the rich text values in Google Sheets. So basically, for the rich text values for one single cell in Google Sheets, you can apply different styles to different part of this text string in this cell. So like for example here, in this cell, I can give it a color for different letters. So for example, for the first four letters, I give it a bold and a red color. And in the following four letters, there is no bold. This bold is false, so it's just normal weight. And then I can do things like this. And for some reason, in my recent project, and the client want to do something like this, but they want to split or join them in different cells. Like for example, if I have this formatted in one single cell and I want to split this value into multiple cells, and we do have this split function here, build formulas in Google Sheets, but this one and it's just working on the text. So if I'm trying to split it by, right, so I split it by a space, so it's going to get the value only, but you cannot get all the format. So this rich text format for all of these values, you cannot keep them with this split formula. And same way with this join formula, you can join only the text only. And the building formulas. So in this project, I'd like to share two functions with you. They're basically not functions. I don't think they can be done in formulas or custom functions with AppScript, but you need to run a macro to basically join these cells into one single cell. And also you can split the rich text value and put them into multiple cells in Google Sheets. So let me give you a very quick demo here. So for the join function here, I already have some rich text values in this range. So the input here is B7 to B11. So this is the input values, and there's a target, the output of the joined value. We're going to be output to D7. It's going to be this merged cell, and I'd like to join them by this /n. So this basically is a new line character. So I'm going to join them by basically put them in a new line. So let me show you here. If I'm trying to run this function here, and then we're going to join them together and keep all the formatting here, all the rich text basically into one single cell. So you will see here. So all the text value are here, and it's going to copy all the formatting you applied to the text for every single cell into one single value here. And the split function is working very similar. And for this split here, you can do some configuration here. So we have the input, output, and this by split by. And the input right now I'm using D7. So basically it's going to use this as an input. And the output field is going to be the F7. So F7 is going to be this one. So this is like the first cell of the output, and then in this case it's going to split them by this new line character. If I'm trying to split it, then you can see this is output. And if I replace something with different value, like if I put a comma here, so I can join them with something like this, and I can do the same thing here. If I split them with a comma, I think I can get the same result. Let me just remove them to verify the result is working. Right, so basically, so this is basically the demo here, and you can use these functions here to use it in your project, just in case you have very similar requirements in your daily workflow. I know it's not a very I don't think people are going to use it very often, but if you have very similar use cases in your project, it's going to help you. And let me show you how you can use it in the code. Right now, I have a demo code here, And let me explain this so you can use the functions in your code. So first, if you want to check the source code, go to extensions and app script, and I'm going to make this file public for you guys, so you can make a copy of the public of the source code. And so basically 2 files in this script project here. So this file with index 0 is going to be basically we have this join function there and the split function there. So make sure when you're trying to use the project, so here we basically have a join function and a split function, and by default this join function is going to take a list of rich text values. Okay, so this is going to be an array, a list of values here. It's going to take a list of rich text values, and then I'm going to, by default, it's going to use the new line character to join them together. And you can change this in your code. And the split function is going to take one single rich text value, and by default, this delimiter or this separator is going to be a new line character like this. Okay, and you can check the code here if you want. And this is basically, you need to have this code in your project, and then you can use the join function and the split function. So this is a helper function which is used to create a default text style. I use it for the, so basically if I have some delimiter, use it, so I'm going to apply a default text style in here. So this is just a helper function. So make sure all of this code are copied to the project, and if you have function name the same, maybe it's better to rename it in your code. And here we have a demo here to basically to doing what we are doing here for, so this demo join and demo split. So let me explain this very quickly in the code. Alright, so this one is not refreshed, and this is also a helper function to get the named values. So let me explain this first. So for the named values, so in this tab here, I have some named fields, as you can see. For if you go to data, I think where is named ranges. So I have an input for join. So this is basically the value we are taking from as an input for this join function, and then we have the output join, and then we have the join by, right? So this is basically this input value for configuration, and this section here for the split function. So we have a input split, output split, so and split by. So this is a named range in this file, and don't delete this named range. And this function here is helping us to get all of these values. But here there are some special characters here, like the new line characters. We are handling them here. It's a tricky place here to handling this kind of characters in the Google Sheets. But so at this moment, don't need to worry about this section here. You don't have to use them because this is just for my demo here. And for this demo here, so the demo join here, we just get the values, right? We get this configuration. So you have the input join and output join, and this join by. So this is basically the range name for the input fields, and the output cell, the name of the output cell. So for the input, so we get these values for these input values, right? We get the range, and we get the rich text values from this range, and we only have the first column. So here I'm mapping all the values from the first one. So if you have 2 columns or 3 columns, you need to handle them a different way. Maybe you need to join them together for all of these columns. So in this example, in this demo, I'm only using 1 column, so that's why I basically mapping all the rows and only take the first column in this rows, because I only have 1 column for the source, if you check here, so I only have one column, so I'm taking this value and this value and this value, this value. I basically take all of them and put them in one single array. And if you have two columns or more columns, it's depending how you're going to handle them. Maybe you want to join them by horizontally or vertically. It depends on you. So that's basically how you want to join them together. And you need to make sure this rich text value, they are in one-dimensional array. So this is the values we need to pass to this join function here. So here I'm passing these rich text values as a parameter, right? So with this join function, and the join by, just in case you didn't enter anything there, is empty. So we can use this default value for the new line character here to join them together. And finally, we just output the join value to the output range. So that's basically this test join function. So this is basically what we call this join function. So prepare your rich text values here, and then you decide which delimiter should we use it to join them together for all of these values. Okay, so that's basically this example to join them together. And very similarly for this split, so we have this input, so one single value for this input fields, right? And then the output also just the start cell of the output range. And then we just call this split function and pass this rich text value and the delimiter to split them by a value passed by from here, right? And then we get a list of the basically a list of rich text values, and then we map them into a two-dimensional array because the values, the split values from this split function is going to be a one-dimensional array, and this function here is going to map it into a two-dimensional array. So basically convert this rich text value here, v, into a array, just one column, and then put them together as an output. So this is the value is going to be outputted to the range. Okay, so the output range is just the start cell. So this is get the start cell row, and this is column, and this is going to be the rows, and we only have one column, so just have one column to be outputted like this. So this is basically the test join and the demo here for the join and split. I think I renamed this one. Let me check. Yes, I renamed this one because this is not refreshed. Okay, so it should be a function here called okay, demo split and demo join. And here, if you right click and go to the assign script, so this is the demo here for the join, and this for this arrow here, this is the demo split. Okay, so I think that's basically it for this project, and I'm planning to add this function here to the add-on chalk line. So maybe in the sidebar you can enter these values in the sidebar. So then you have this function to join and split in this add-on here. So that's going to be an update later. So I think that's it for this sharing, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye-bye.